My husband's childhood friend used me as a prop. Then her family tried to humiliate me. This pose is perfect. Just missing the right girl, her sister said. Claire smiled. I said nothing. But I wasn't staying silent forever. 3 days later, I showed my husband the video. He blocked her mid-call. Now she's spiraling, begging mutuals to fix this before it's too late. Obligatory throwaway because I just don't feel like having this mess tied to my main. Also, English is not my first language, so bear with me if I ramble. So I, 30F, have been married to my husband, 31M, for almost 3 years, together for 6. I love him. He's funny, thoughtful, a bit dorky, in the best way and the most loyal person I've ever met. I say this with full sincerity. He's the only reason I ever started trusting people again. Before him, I had a long-term ex who cheated on me with his best friend. And when I say cheated, I mean laughing behind my back, gaslighting me into thinking I was crazy, and then blindsiding me with the truth when he got caught. That wrecked me in ways I still haven't fully unpacked. But my husband? He's never given me even a flicker of doubt, until recently. And I don't even know if I should be doubting him, or if I'm just finally seeing something I didn't want to. This whole thing revolves around one person, Claire. Claire and my husband grew up together. Same neighborhood, went to the same schools, even did summer camps together. According to him, they were practically siblings. Except, well, I have siblings. And I've never had one ghost my spouse at every event or pretend they didn't exist in a room. From the very beginning, Claire just ignored me. Not dramatically or rudely, just in that perfectly calibrated way that makes you look like the insecure one if you bring it up. Like she'd talk around me in conversations, never to me. If I chimed in, she'd nod, but never follow up. Always a tight, polite smile. Like I was the new intern on her team she didn't really want to train. The first few times we met, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I tried to make conversation. I invited her to our engagement dinner, to our housewarming, to my birthday. She bailed on every single one. And not once did she send a, sorry, can't make it text. Not once. Meanwhile, she'd still invite my husband to coffee or drinks when she was in town. She lives like 2 hours away, not across the world. He never hides it. He's very open. But still, it rubbed me wrong. When I brought it up, gently, he brushed it off. Claire's just socially weird. She's always been kind of aloof, not personal. She probably just doesn't know how to talk to you. I tried to accept that. God knows I've been labeled cold more than once when I was really just anxious. So I let it slide. Again and again. But let me tell you the moment that made me realize I wasn't imagining things, and that being nice was just giving someone a free pass to humiliate me. A few weeks ago, Claire DMs me on Instagram. I swear I double-checked the username like 3 times because I thought I was hallucinating. It was short and sweet. She said she was working on her final project for her photography degree and needed a few volunteer models. Said she was trying to branch out into portraiture and thought I'd be great for the aesthetic. No explanation of the aesthetic. No background. Just vague, artsy phrasing. But I was so taken off guard by the fact that she was even acknowledging my existence that I said yes before I could think twice. Part of me, some small naive corner of my heart, thought maybe this was her olive branch. Maybe she was finally extending something to me, even if it was wrapped in millennial minimalism and artsy detachment. I mentioned it to my husband and he was like, oh cool. Haven't seen Claire in a while. I'll come with you. Catch up a bit. I didn't think much of it. If anything, I thought maybe his presence would make things less awkward. We drove out to her house. Correction? Her parents' house, which looks like a restoration hardware catalog had a baby with a vineyard estate. Think giant white staircase, built-in studio lighting, and way too many expensive-looking succulents. I wasn't even inside yet and already felt out of place. I walked in expecting a low-key shoot, maybe her and a ring light. Instead, it felt like a small family gathering. Her mom, her sister, a cousin maybe? They were drinking wine, chatting, dressed like they'd just come from a casual brunch that cost more than my rent. And the second I walked in, the comments started. Her mom looked up, smiled wide at my husband and said, "Oh, our favorite almost son-in-law. It's been too long." I laughed awkwardly, thought maybe I misheard. Then her sister followed up with, "We always thought Claire would end up with you. But life's full of surprises, huh?" That didn't feel like a misheard joke. Claire didn't even flinch, just called me over and started giving vague instructions about lighting, backdrop, natural poses. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery kept it going. Claire always imagined her wedding photos here. "Remember that summer you and Claire practiced your vows? You were what, 12? Oh, this pose is perfect. It's almost like an engagement shot, just missing the right girl." I felt like I was in one of those hidden camera prank shows. I didn't know where to look. Claire? Still smiling. Still clicking away. occasionally showing me a preview on the screen like I was supposed to care. My husband, he looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. He laughed awkwardly at first, then stopped. I could see him fidgeting with the hem of his shirt, rubbing the back of his neck like he always does when he's anxious. He didn't say anything, not once. I lasted about an hour. 1 hour of smiling through my teeth while strangers made a mockery of my marriage, and a woman I tried to befriend let it happen without a single word. When we got in the car, he was quiet for the first 10 minutes, then finally said, "That was kind of weird, right?" I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, "Yeah, it was." And we rode the rest of the way home in silence. And now I can't stop replaying everything in my head. All the excuses. All the times I told myself I was reading too much into it. Maybe she was just socially awkward. Maybe I was overreacting. I kept trying to be cool, to be unbothered. But I'm not unbothered. I'm hurt. I'm furious. And mostly, I feel humiliated. Because I walked into that house thinking maybe this woman was finally seeing me as a person. Instead, I was the punchline of a joke I didn't know I was part of. I haven't brought it up again. I don't even know how to. I'm afraid I'll explode. Or worse, cry. And I hate crying when I'm angry. It always makes people think you're the one who's being unreasonable. I don't know what I'm hoping to get out of this post. I guess I just want someone to tell me I'm not crazy for being mad. Or maybe I just needed to get this out of my chest before it poisons me from the inside out. Edit. For people asking, yes, Claire is in her final year of photography school, and yes, the shoot was supposedly for her portfolio. No, I wasn't paid. And yes, I regret saying yes now. It was at her house because she has a studio there, apparently. I assumed it'd be casual, not a wine and commentary party. Edit 2. To the few people saying I should have walked out, I know. Trust me, I know. But sometimes when you grow up around subtle cruelty, you stop recognizing it as cruelty until way too late. I froze. I wish I hadn't. I won't again. Update. First of all, thank you. When I posted the original, I honestly thought maybe 10 people would see it. I wasn't expecting DMs, awards, or paragraphs of support from total strangers. I sat in bed reading every comment and message. Some of you were funny, some blunt, some heartbreakingly kind. And all of you made me feel seen in a way I didn't even know I needed. A few people asked if I ever confronted Claire or my husband. The short answer? I didn't get the chance. Because the universe apparently had one more surprise lined up for me. So here's what happened. After the shoot, I was off. I didn't say much the next few days. I was polite, did the dishes, laughed when I was supposed to. But something in me felt numb. Like I'd been watching my own life from behind glass, and it was finally catching up. My husband noticed. He kept asking if I wanted to talk, and I kept saying, later. Then I got a message from someone I didn't expect. His sister. Let's call her Madeline. Now, Madeline and I actually get along really well. We're not best friends or anything, but we've had wine nights and vented about work stress, that kind of thing. She's part of the same friend group that overlaps with Claire, though they're not close. Anyway, she sends me this screen recording from Instagram. No caption. Just WTF? It was from Claire's close friend story, which I obviously wasn't on. In the clip, you can see me posing during the shoot. I'm standing in front of this white backdrop, turning to the side. And in the background, you hear Claire's sister say, "Clear as day. Claire should have been the one to marry him. No music. No filters. Just that. And you know what broke me?" Claire giggles, like it's the funniest thing she's heard all day. I stared at the video for a solid minute before it hit me. This wasn't just passive-aggressive. It wasn't just her family being weird or too comfortable. This was targeted, mean, cruel. And Claire let it happen, encouraged it, then posted it like a trophy, like she wanted people to know. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just waited for my husband to come home. He walked through the door, saw my face, and immediately froze. I told him, "Sit, you need to see something." I played the video. Once, then again. He didn't say anything for a while, just stared at the screen. I watched the realization hit him, how bad it looked, how intentional, and I could see it. The shame, the way he blinked like his whole childhood just got punched in the gut. And then I said the thing I'd been holding in since the shoot. If this doesn't bother you enough to do something, we've got a bigger problem. I'm not going to spend this marriage defending myself against your silence. I need a partner. I need to know you choose me, publicly, not just in private. Because if I have to keep making excuses for why you won't defend me, then maybe I need to start defending myself from you. He looked gutted, didn't get defensive, didn't minimize it. He just said, "I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to say. I fucked up." And then, this part honestly surprised me. I showed him my Reddit post. He read the whole thing. Every comment too. He got quiet for a long time, and I swear I saw his eyes start to water. I don't think he realized just how much it had all built up, that it wasn't just about Claire. but about how small I'd been made to feel for months. When he finished reading, he put the phone down and said, "What do you need from me right now?" And I told him, "No more excuses. No more, that's just Claire." I told him if he wanted to stay friends with her after everything, that was his choice. But I wasn't going to be part of it. I wouldn't fake smile through another event where I was treated like an intruder in my own marriage. It was me or her. No gray area. No neutral ground. He nodded, then said, "Let's call her." I was so not emotionally prepared for that. She answered on speaker, chipper as ever. "Hey, how's my muse?" Barf. He wasted no time. He said, "I saw the video. I heard what your sister said. And honestly, I should have said something a long time ago. But this was too far." She went full defensive. "Oh my God, are you seriously mad over a joke? She wasn't even being serious." And that's when he stepped up. Not angry, just calm and firm in a way I'd never seen him with her. "You've been rude to my wife since the day you met her. I told myself you were just awkward, that you didn't mean it, but now I know better. I let this slide because I thought you'd grow up. But you didn't. You crossed a line, Claire, and you made her feel small, again and again. And I let you. That's on me, but not anymore." She laughed, full-on laughed, like it was some sitcom moment. "You're really cutting me off over that girl?" And he said, "No, I'm choosing my wife. And if that's hard for you to accept, then maybe you were never really my friend in the first place." Then he hung up. We blocked her. And her sister. And anyone in her family who thought this was entertaining. It's been a few days since. And honestly, I don't feel triumphant. I feel drained, like I've been clenching my teeth for months and finally let go. My jaw still hurts. But I also feel seen, chosen, and more secure in my marriage than I have in a long time. We still have things to work through. Trust takes maintenance. But now I know he hears me. I don't feel invisible anymore. Edit. For those asking, yes, I've started therapy again. I stopped going during COVID and never picked it back up. But this whole mess made me realize how much of my old coping is still rooted in trauma. I don't want to freeze anymore when people treat me badly. I want to speak up, and I will. Update 2. Hey Reddit. It's been about 2 weeks since my last post, and wow, I didn't think I'd be back here again, but the aftermath of all this? Yeah, it's been something. Quick recap for anyone new here. My husband's childhood best friend Claire spent years subtly excluding and disrespecting me. The final straw was when she asked me to model for a photography project, only for her and her family to humiliate me during the shoot. Her sister made a comment about Claire being the one who should have married my husband. Claire laughed and posted it on her close friend's story. I found out, showed my husband, and for the first time, he saw the pattern. He cut Claire off and chose to stand with me. We both blocked her, and I genuinely thought that was the end. Plot twist. Claire did not take it well. The day after the call, I started getting followed by a bunch of random private Instagram accounts. No profile pics, no bios. Just generic usernames like PhotoChick94 and Vintage Lens Babe. At first, I thought it was just spam. But then I noticed something strange. They'd all like the same old posts of mine, back to back, within seconds. Some from years ago. My private stories were getting seen within seconds of posting, even though I'd curated my close friends list down to like 5 people. So yeah, probably Claire or her sister or their flying monkeys. I told my husband and he said, "Let them watch. We have nothing to hide." And I get what he meant. But the thing is, I didn't want an audience anymore. Not from people who saw me as a rival or some charity case standing between their fantasy and reality. So I made my account private and locked everything down. I archived our wedding pics and changed my bio. Nothing dramatic, just quiet boundaries. But Claire? Oh, she went full theater kid. According to Madeline, CL MVP, Claire's version of events is that I'm a jealous, insecure control freak who's been trying to isolate my husband from his real friends for years. That I manipulated him into cutting her off and cried about a harmless joke. She left out the part where she humiliated me in front of her wine-sipping family and laughed when her sister treated me like a placeholder. Apparently, Claire's been going on unhinged rants in group chats with mutual friends. One message literally said, "It's just sad. He used to be so confident and independent. And now he's whipped by some hobby model with a savior complex. LOL. If I had a savior complex, I would have tried to save her from that haircut she had in 2016. Anyway, Madeline and a couple of other mutuals who were actually at our wedding have been defending me, which I appreciate more than I can explain. One of them even told Claire, "You didn't lose a friend. You revealed you were never one." And apparently, she left the group chat right after that. But it's been weird. Tense. Like something cracked open and now the friend group is split down the middle. There was one moment last week I haven't stopped thinking about. It was late, and I was doing dishes. My husband came in, leaned on the counter and said, I always thought Claire would grow out of the mean girl thing, but maybe she just got better at hiding it. I didn't say anything. I just nodded, because what else is there to say? Then he added, I think I didn't want to admit she treated you like that because then I'd have to admit she treated me like that too. That one hit me hard, because I realized something I hadn't before. Claire didn't just undermine me. She undermined him. All those jokes about them being perfect together, those weren't compliments. They were traps, weapons disguised as nostalgia. And part of me wonders if she ever really saw him as a person, or just a backup plan. He told me he feels free now. Like he finally exhaled something he'd been holding in since high school. I can't lie. It meant a lot to hear that. We're doing okay. Actually, we're doing better than okay. We've had more honest conversations in the last 2 weeks than we had in months. Real ones. About boundaries. About guilt. About how not saying anything can be its own kind of betrayal. He's been actively showing up, taking initiative to check in on my emotional state, not just reacting when things go wrong. He even brought home flowers the other day, not as an apology, just because he said, "You deserve small good things." I cried. I don't even like flowers that much. But the gesture wrecked me, in a good way. If you're someone who's ever been gaslit into thinking your gut was too sensitive, or your feelings were too much, let me tell you something. You are not overreacting. You are reacting appropriately to being disrespected. Kindness isn't weakness, but silence in the face of cruelty? That's not kindness. That's complicity. I don't know if Claire will ever understand why she's been cut off. I'm not waiting around to find out. I spent too long hoping she'd come around, hoping she'd see me. But I see myself now, and that's enough. Edit. A few of you asked if we're considering couples counseling. We've actually already booked a session, not because things are falling apart, but because we want to keep them from ever getting close. And honestly, that feels like the most grown-up decision we've ever made. Final update. Hey again, Reddit. This will be my last update. Not because everything's perfectly tied up with a bow, life rarely is, but because I've finally said everything I needed to say, and more importantly, been heard. So much has happened in the last few weeks, and honestly, I didn't expect this part of the story to go the way it did. A few days ago, I got a message from someone I never expected to hear from. Claire's mom. Yeah, that Claire, that mom. The same one who called my husband her almost son-in-law with a wink and a glass of Chardonnay in her hand. She messaged me privately on Facebook, which I barely even check anymore. No subject line, just, I just wanted to say something. You don't have to respond. I stared at it for a while. Considered deleting it. Blocking her. But curiosity won. She said she saw the Reddit post. Hi, I guess? At first I panicked. Thought she'd accuse me of lying or exaggerating. Instead, it was a weirdly quiet, honest message. She told me she didn't realize how uncomfortable I'd felt that day. That she thought we were all just teasing, and didn't know the comments had landed so cruelly. She said she was embarrassed by the way things came off and that, regardless of Claire's history with your husband, it wasn't fair to make you feel like you didn't belong. That last line hit me hard. Because belonging was exactly what I'd been trying to feel. For years. Not just with Claire, but in my marriage's wider orbit. I wasn't expecting an apology. But she gave one. She didn't excuse her daughter's behavior. She didn't sugarcoat it. Just said she was sorry and that she hoped we were doing okay. I didn't write back. I might someday, but not now. Still, it gave me a strange sense of closure I didn't know I needed. Not because I wanted validation from her, but because it confirmed what I'd been feeling all along, that I wasn't imagining it, that I didn't overreact, that even the people in her world could see what happened for what it was. I haven't heard from Claire, and I doubt I ever will again. From what Madeline told me, she's been venting to a couple of mutuals who are barely still in her camp. She apparently called me calculating and pathetic in one message, said I played the long game to isolate her from my husband, as if being kind and quiet and trying to earn her friendship was part of some evil strategy. Projection is a hell of a drug, I guess. We muted all the group chats she's in. Not to be petty, just because we're tired. Tired of the drama, tired of having her name brought up like an unwanted ghost at a dinner party. She's not a main character in our lives anymore. She's a footnote, and I want to keep it that way. My husband and I, we're better than we've been in a long time. Not just good, but deeper. Like we broke through something we didn't realize was blocking us. He's been more present. Not in that performative, over-the-top way. Just real. Thoughtful. I can see it in the small stuff. The way he puts his phone down when I start talking. The way he asks, "Do you feel heard right now?" during heavy conversations. The way he checks in without being prompted. And me? I'm learning not to shrink anymore. I've started speaking up even when it makes me feel shaky. I told a coworker the other day, "Hey, that comment didn't sit right with me." My voice trembled, but I said it, and they apologized. It was a small win, but it felt massive. We've gone to 2 couples therapy sessions so far, and you know what? It's not awkward or uncomfortable, it's empowering. We're talking about communication, boundaries, and how silence, even well-intentioned silence, can cause real harm. He told our therapist, I thought defending her meant choosing sides. I didn't realize not defending her was a choice. That one stayed with me. Last weekend, we took a little weekend trip. Nothing fancy, just a cabin by a lake. No reception, no Wi-Fi, just us, a deck of cards, and bad instant coffee. One morning, I asked him, do you ever miss her? Claire, I mean. He was quiet for a while. Then he said, I think I miss the version of her I thought was real. But the truth? I think she liked the version of me that didn't have a voice. The moment I started using it for you, she saw me as the enemy. I didn't cry. I just reached over and held his hand. And in that moment, I realized I'm not mad anymore, not scared, not bracing for the next passive-aggressive jab or silence that cuts deeper than words. I'm just done. You helped me more than you'll ever know. When I posted that first story, I felt small, ashamed, like maybe I was being too sensitive or too demanding. But you reminded me that love isn't just about good intentions. It's about actions, boundaries, speaking up even when your voice shakes. And now, I feel like I finally took up space in my own life. If you're reading this and struggling with a Claire in your own orbit, you're not crazy. You're not overreacting. You're worth protecting. And the people who love you should never make you feel like you're in a competition for basic respect. Thank you for listening. Thank you for holding space for me. I really, really needed it. Final edit. I didn't think this story would resonate with so many of you. The DMs from people going through similar things, they broke my heart. Please take care of yourselves. And please don't wait for permission to stand up for yourself. You deserve more than just being tolerated. You deserve to feel safe, chosen, and seen. Take care, Reddit. And thank you for helping me find my voice again.